during the time of the 1890s. But how were the people aware of all of these things? They weren't until they began reading the published magazine articles of the muckrakers. One of the most popular muckrakers of the time was Ray Stannard Baker, also known by his pen name as David Grayson. Baker was born in 1870 with the ultimate dream of becoming a novelist. At the age of 28, he published his first official muckraking article in 1898. He wrote several articles about the overpowering of large businesses and trusts. Baker worked alongside a team of other muckrakers, including Ida Tarbell.
Some members of the middle and upper classes saw the dreadful way the poor lived and wanted to do something about it. Many Americans did not know how bad the situation in factories and slums were until they read about it in the books and newspaper articles written by a group of writers who would eventually be called the Muckrakers.
The articles of muckrakers told the bare truth, which was sometimes brutal to face. Their articles focused on the social issues of the nation and what needed to be changed.
The progressive movement gained momentum and followers as Americans read the work of writers and journalists who exposed corruption in government and business and described the deplorable life of many working-class Americans, became popularly known as muckrakers, from a character in John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress who raked up the mud and muck of the world.
Baker wrote a book celebrating the prosperity of America and was a writer of the Secret Service. His truthful writings touched the public, including President Theodore Roosevelt. As quoted, Roosevelt responded to one of Baker's articles by saying, "You have impressed me with your earnest desire to be fair, with your freedom from hysteria, and with your anxiety to tell the truth, rather than to write something that will be sensational." Baker's fame grew, and shortly after publishing tons of articles, he became the associate manager of McClure's magazine. Baker and a fellow muckraker bought American Magazine, a very popular magazine at the time, to continue publishing more articles. The articles in this magazine were mainly focused on the social and political position of African Americans in society at the time. These articles gained a lot of positive feedback, soon causing Baker to publish a book in 1908 called Following the Color Line. To this day, people consider it to be the most significant piece of journalism throughout the career of Ray Stannard Baker. During the mid-1900s, Baker's attention became focused on the political reform and race relations. His once great friend President Theodore Roosevelt turned against all muckrakers, including Baker himself. This pushed all muckrakers to work harder on their articles, because they knew that they were all being truthful. Baker and all other muckrakers were catalysts for change and pointed out all the flaws in both the society and workforce. This led to better working conditions in factories and more governmental control rather than large businesses over the economy. Baker and all other muckrakers were catalysts for change and pointed out all the flaws in both the society and workforce. Thanks to their truthful articles and public awareness, the nation has forever been changed. This led to the better working conditions in factories and more governmental control rather than large businesses in the nation's economy.
Not everyone was so swayed by the muckraking, however. It was Theodore Roosevelt who gave the muckrakers their name. He felt that the muckrakers were necessary to society, but also that they often went too far, focusing solely on the negative aspects of the issues they wrote about. But
these muckraking books and magazine articles, they became not only aware of the country's problems, they demanded and supported reforms in both business and government. Many of the demands of the earlier populist movement were finally coming to fruition as state and local governments became more responsive to citizens and tried to eliminate the influence of big business.
The growth of large business is merely survival of the fittest.